What a captivating story. Thank you for sharing that with us today. I'm here to talk about the psychology behind that story. You can hear stories like this every day on social media and streaming services. Some may be true, while others may be dramatizations. But both are designed to captivate us, right? We're all story creatures. We love hearing stories, but what draws us to them? Well, there are many reasons, but let's focus on two psychological aspects: catharsis and vicarious learning. First, let's unpack catharsis. This is the idea that experiencing a story, especially one that evokes strong emotions, can help us release or purge those very emotions. Imagine watching a horror movie. As you see scary scenes play out, your heart races, you sweat, you might even scream. Afterwards, you might feel a sense of relief, as if you've let out a pent-up tension. Catharsis is this release of emotional energy, and stories like Megan's are like emotional roller coasters. They take us through intense highs and lows, keeping us engaged, intrigued, and emotionally invested. Our brains get wired for these experiences. Studies show that when we immerse ourselves in stories, our brain activity mirrors the emotions presented. We literally feel what the characters feel. In a study by McKinnon and colleagues, participants' heart rates increased when reading a suspenseful story. Similarly, our empathetic and mirror neurons fire up, making us physically and emotionally responsive to fictional characters' experiences. Well, beyond the obvious enjoyment factor, catharsis provides a safe outlet for emotions that we might find difficult to experience directly. Think about it. How many of us have found solace in a sad movie after a personal loss? Or how many times has a scary movie made you feel more alert and less anxious about everyday dangers? In Megan's case, the drama, the hidden identity, the emotional roller coaster ride of it all, provided a gripping narrative that held her attention and provided an escape from her reality. And when the story was hers to tell, she finally found a way to release the emotions that were eating away at her sanity. Now let's shift gears to vicarious learning. Humans are social creatures, and stories are like social simulations. They allow us to explore a range of situations and emotions without directly experiencing them. By observing characters and their choices, we learn about ourselves, our values, our limitations, and even potential outcomes of actions we might consider. Imagine reading a story about someone facing a difficult decision. As you read, you process the character's thoughts, feelings, and the consequences of their choices. By doing so, you might gain insight into how you would react in a similar situation, or it might highlight perspectives you had unconsidered. In a nutshell, we learn a ton from stories. We expand our knowledge, understand diverse perspectives, and even practice emotional regulation. All this happens because our brains are hardwired for social cognition. We naturally read other people's emotions, anticipate their behaviors, and try to understand their perspectives, all thanks to our evolved social skills. Now, think about the power of applying this to stories. By placing ourselves in the shoes of characters like Megan, we engage in something called mental time travel. Thanks to our incredible cognitive abilities, we can mentally simulate events and scenarios. We can imagine what it would be like to be in a completely different situation, say, living in ancient Greece or having superpowers. Through mental time travel, we relive these moments with the character, feeling their emotions and considering their actions. This helps us grasp their motivations and understand their decisions better. But it doesn't stop there. Mental time travel also allows us to predict outcomes, helping us learn without direct experience. We observe the consequences of characters' decisions and reflect on whether we would choose differently. It's like running a mental movie in our heads and seeing where it leads. So why is this important? Why bother understanding characters instead of just enjoying the story? Well, mental time travel offers a safe space for experimentation. It lets us explore riskier or unusual choices without real-world repercussions. And it's incredibly effective. Researchers peg this on something called the constructive nature of our minds. Our brains don't just receive information. They actively construct interpretations, meanings, and predictions based on our past experiences, beliefs, and expectations. So when we read or watch a story, we don't just passively consume it. We engage in a dialogue with the narrative, filling in the blanks and making connections based on what we already know. And now let's dive into a critical aspect of this process, something that adds a layer of complexity to our relationship with stories: agency. Stories thrive on conflict, problem solving, and change. A static story doesn't keep us engaged. We need to see characters grow, change, and overcome challenges. And this element often involves a good amount of deception, manipulation, and questionable choices. Characters lie, deceive, cheat, manipulate. Yet we root for them, empathize with them, and sometimes even justify their actions. So how do we reconcile our admiration for a character with their morally ambiguous actions? Well, it comes down to something called motivated reasoning. We tend to interpret information in a way that confirms our existing beliefs or desired outcomes. So when a character, let's say Nick, exhibits traits that we value, like intelligence or charm, we're more likely to overlook or justify their questionable actions. In Megan's case, she started off wanting to feel desired again. So when she saw the attention and compliments coming from Nick's character, she might have overlooked subtle signs of manipulation or deceit. Similarly, we might admire a character's ambition or determination, but ignore their manipulative tactics or ruthless efficiency. This selective interpretation is driven by our desire to maintain a positive view of the character or the story world. In a study by Chesney and colleagues, fans of a popular TV show were more likely to accept morally questionable acts by beloved characters if they perceived these acts as instrumental in achieving a greater good. In essence, we're more likely to forgive deception, manipulation, and questionable choices when they serve a purpose we admire, such as achieving justice or protecting loved ones. Megan embarked on a journey of healing and self-discovery. Her story illustrates the complexities of human relationships and the challenges of seeking connection in a digital age. She grappled with the aftermath of a traumatic event, showcasing the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Her story serves as a reminder to remain cautious in online interactions, while also encouraging us to embrace vulnerability as part of the human experience. Megan's story is a testament to the strength and adaptability of the human spirit. Her journey encourages us to confront our past, embrace vulnerability, and strive for healing and personal growth. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, hope and resilience can guide us towards a brighter future. And thank you for joining me today. If you liked this video, hit the subscribe button so you're notified of new videos. Also, leave your comments. We love reading them. And until next time, from the host and the whole team, we hope you keep an open mind.